For the past couple of days, we started talking about topic 7 and how to solve problems with decimals and how to compare decimals and fractions. So today we're going to really dive into comparing or ordering decimals and fractions and what that actually means. So copy this in your notebook. Again, here's the reminder on the side that you do need to copy it down. Right here. Complete the number line by adding at least 2 thick marks at regular intervals. Then place a label at points on the number line at the following locations: 2.1, 2 1/3, 2.75, and 2 5/8. Now, this might look confusing to you, but it's really not as hard as we make it out to be. So what we have to do is turn these fractions into decimals or decimals into fractions. I like to do fractions into decimals. That's a little bit easier for me and it takes a little bit less time. So I have 2 numbers that are a mixed number. And I have 2 numbers that are already decimals. I don't want to put the decimal numbers on the number line yet until I figure out what these fractions are. Okay? So we know that obviously there's going to be a whole number of 2s. So you're still going to be after the 2 on this number line. But when you have a mixed, number, keep your first number as it is. So keep your 2. Alright? And then you want to write 1/3 as a division problem. Your divisor is your denominator. So for 2 1/3, 3 is going to be your divisor. Divided by 1. Now, 3 can't go into 1 evenly, so I'm going to go ahead and add a decimal point and some zeros to make it a little bit simpler. Okay? 3 cannot quite go into 1, but it can go into 10 3 times, which is 9. Bring down 1. You can go to 10 3 times, which is 9. Bring down 1. This can go on and on and on forever. So what 2 1/3 is, you're going to keep your 2 because it is your whole number. So 2 1/3 is going to be 2.33. Whoops. Go back. 2.33. This is going to go on over here forever, okay? But you're going to round to the nearest hundredth, which is usually what you would round to. And since 3 is smaller than halfway, this 3 is going to stay 3, okay? So we have 2.1, 2.33. Okay, that one's kind of in order because here's 2.75. Let's figure out how to turn 5/8 into a decimal. Okay, again, keep your 2 as it is. So we're going to write this one in blue. All right, we know our 8 is our divisor. And we know that the numerator is going to be the dividend. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and add my decimal point and some zeros just to make the math a little bit simpler and to remind myself that I got to keep going. 8 cannot quite go into 5, but it can fit inside of 50. It can fit inside of 50 6 times, which is 48. You have to subtract and have a remainder of 2. Bring down your 0. 8 can go into 20 2 times, which is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. I'm going to go ahead and bring down another 0. Because 8 can go into 40 evenly, which is a 5. Okay? Bring your 40 remainder 0. Now look, usually I would round to the nearest hundredth. Decimal place. But I'm going to keep this one as is for right now. So 2 5/8 is the same as 2 and 625 thousandths. So on the number line, we have 2.1, we have 2.33, we have 2.7 is larger than 2.6, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2.6. Or you can write this as 2.63 if you were going to round. And then 2.75. Okay? What we need to start doing is seeing these fractions and decimals as parts of numbers and not just, oh my gosh, it's a fraction or it's a decimal. They're just number parts. They're just part of the way to another whole number. And once we start seeing them as they are, it'll make math a little bit easier. Let's move on. Alright, so place the numbers in order from greatest to least. Again, you have to copy this into your notebook. So go ahead and make a spot where you have a measure from greatest to least. And you want to look at the left side of your number. Just like a normal number without a decimal place in it, you start from the left and move to the right to see the value. So all of the numbers have 35 in them, so it can't be, that's not going to be a way to find the greatest. See if you can figure this out and then show teacher when you're finished. Alright, again, here's another one that you're going to do. Compare 2.99 and 2.9900. Here are your answer choices. Ask yourself the question, which is compare to blah, 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 and then choose the answer. Don't say A, B, C, or D, please. Write out the answer. Alright, so I want you to pause this video right here because you are going to write down these two methods. There are two ways to compare fractions and decimals. Copy the whole thing down, please. Number one, turn 0.85 into a fraction and then find a common denominator. And then the second thing you can do is turn 5/6 into a decimal and then compare the decimals. So here are the two ways. Here's the first one. Turn it into a fraction. So you have our decimal up here, which is 0.85. Okay? We need to look at that 0.85 and figure out what place value is the 5 in. So we know that the 0 is in the 1's place, because if you were to place out 0 with 1, it would be 1. And 8 is in the 10th place. 5 is in the 100th place, and that's very, very important because that's going to let you know what your denominator is going to be. So 85 is going to remain your numerator. Okay? Since we know that the 5 is in the 100th place, we're going to put 100 underneath it. See how easy that is to dot? It's so easy, okay? So, this is not the form it's going to be in, though, because this can be reduced. Let's think about it. And whenever we reduce, guys, what we sometimes do is freak out and think, oh my gosh, I don't know how to reduce. It's going to be so complicated. It's really, really not. You're trying to find a common number that the numerator and the denominator have, and then you're going to take it out. Okay? So if you're not quite sure what the factors are of each one, make a factor tree like we did at the beginning of the year. We have 85 and 100. Well, I know that the factors of 100 are 5 and 20, 5 and 4, 2 and 2. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, 5 times 20 is 100. Alright, 85. I know that it ends in a 5, so I know it's divisible by 5. Okay, 5 times 17 would give us 85. And since 5 and 17 are both primes, this is as small as our large as our factor tree for 85 is going to be. Now, when you're finding a common factor, this is what I told my students, is you're looking for a perfect match within your two tables, okay? You have to match one of your guys from one side with the other side. So 5 and 5 are the perfect match, the perfect couple. So since both these numbers have a common 5, we can divide both 85 and 100 by 5 and get our reduced fraction. 85 divided by 5 would give us 17. 100 divided by 5 will give us 20. All right. Since 17 is prime and 20 and 17 cannot go into each other, this is as far as our fraction is going to go for right now. But we are going to be comparing. We're comparing 17 20ths to 5 6. Okay? Again, 17 20ths is 0.85 turned into a fraction. So whenever you're comparing, here's how it works. You're going to set up your fractions as if you're supposed to add them together, but you're really not going to add them. Okay? So you have 17 20ths and 5 6. This is kind of hard to compare it right now because you're like, okay, 5 6, and then that's, I don't understand, I don't know which one's bigger and which one's smaller. So here's how that works. You are going to find a common denominator between the numbers, just like you do when you're adding. So let's think of some factors of 20. Not factors, I'm sorry. Some multiples of 20. Well, 20, 40, 60, maybe let's stop at 80 because I don't want to go all the way to 80 with 6. And then factors of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 0, 36, 42, excuse me, 48, 54, and 60. Okay, so I just found 60. We know that both numbers can go into 60 because there's 60 in both the in the GCFs. Or sorry, these come in multiples. So it's the smallest number that 6 and 20 can both go into. You're going to use that as your new denominator. I don't know which one. That's your new denominator. 60. Okay? 60 is the smallest number that 20 and 6 can both go into. So we've got to figure out what we multiplied 20 times to get 6. Well, that's times 3. Okay? Same thing here. What do we multiply 6 times to get 60? 10. 5 times 10 would be 50. 17 times 3, well, let's figure it out. 7 times 3 will be 21. So 1 times 3 is 3, so it will be 51. Okay? This is much easier to compare. So 17 out of 20 is the same as 51 out of 60, and 5 6 is the same as 50 60ths. Now, which number is larger, 51 60ths or 50 60ths? I hope you look at 51 60ths and see, okay, I have 51 out of 60, so I know that 51 60ths is the larger amount. This is how you turn it into, fraction. Alright, so now let's talk about how to turn 5 6 into a decimal. And this is the method that I prefer because it's a little bit shorter and, in my opinion, a little bit easier to do. So I have 0.85 as my decimal. Okay? Blank. And then I'm going to turn 5 6 into a decimal. What that looks like. So your 6 is going to be your divisor. Your 5 is going to be your dividend. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some differences after my 5, so that way it's easier to divide. 6 goes into 50 8 times, which is 48. Okay. Subtract will give us a remainder of 2, brings down your 0. 6 goes into 20 3 times, which is 18. Just a remainder of 2. Bring down your 0. 6 goes into 20 3 times. Now that I know I'm comparing, I'm going to go ahead and round to the nearest hundredth. Okay? So I see that 833 can be rounded to 0.83. Okay? Which one is going to be greater? Well, this one. Alright? Go ahead and finish copying this down in your notebook. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and good luck on the test.